hoping that.
You're live.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hello.
Yay, it does work.
This is different.
We're echoing. Okay, so here is the dealio. We have a new setup, so we can actually hang out.
We're going to hang out with this thing poking in your head.
We have a plant in between us, honey. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Whatever. So we thought we'd have a new setup.
Sometimes things come between us.
Sometimes, just sometimes. So I actually
You got dirt on your
this.
knees.
I've got a hole. So we got Andrew, Jim, Michael, Corey. Hi, everybody. Mike, you're not going to be able to see the comments.
No, I'm not. Should I pull them up on my phone?
That would probably be a good idea.
Where do I go?
You just go to my channel.
Oh.
YouTube.
What's Mandee's channel?
You're on Facebook. You're on Facebook. You have to go to YouTube.
Oh.
This is a learning process. What do you think? Do you like this? I mean, we're gonna probably decor it with some racing, but for the time being, I thought at least
turn the sound off.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That would help.
All right, we're getting a lot of highs. Hi, everybody. Hello from my truck in Portland. Look at this. A lot of comments. Are you getting the comments?
We'll be at a Schweeken.
You already got that?
Yep.
From where?
The bottom.
Oh, that's Mike. Cool. So, what did you guys do this weekend? I mean, would you like to fill them in on what we did?
We drove a long time in the truck.
We drove a long time in the truck?
Yeah. So we drove home to King Ferry with my pickup. Dropped off first we dropped off panels at Pilots to get lettered. And we were thrashing to try to get them all cut and, filed, and so they're like ready to letter.
Mm-hmm.
And drop those off, then go home to King Ferry, grab the last of what's still at my grandmother's house that we moved out of, moved up here.
Yep.
Loaded that in my dad's trailer, and then we stayed overnight and got the last of it loaded and left.
We did get to see some humans. We saw his parents, we saw his sister and his niece, but we made sure
it was extremely uncomfortable because we had to stand like 10 feet away. It wasn't even on their end. I feel
we're
that
trying to be safe.
I just feel like I don't even believe in this, but I just don't want to be the one that if I were to transfer something or whatever, if I I don't even know.
Yeah.
Just I wouldn't want that on me.
You forgot the biggest thing. Other than that, what else did we do on Friday?
I don't know. Tell them.
I cut your hair.
Oh yeah. See. Fresh shave. Cut his hair. It was quite it took me a while, but I learned something new. These chairs are really uncomfortable.
They're uncomfortable?
Yeah. I'm gonna put this cushion.
You're uncomfortable.
Here.
Whatever. Okay, so let's see. Any questions? Let's see. Oh, Kathy, Mama Bear said, I was so glad to see you even if it was 6 feet apart.
Oh, the other thing. So, Andrew says, how's Jenny? Is she lonely? No, she's not, because when we went home, I grabbed the motor and brought that up here and dropped it in. So now Jenny's got a motor.
We did do the update with Jenny, so I think I might release that tomorrow. As long as I remember. It's going to go up tomorrow. That's my plan.
Okay.
So.
I was thinking once, we don't have the dry sump tank yet, but once we do, maybe I'll show like how to plumb the lines for the dry sump.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I know that's confusing when you first get a big block or an open small block with dry sump. Nobody knows where the lines go.
Did you ever hear or see anything about Big Now? Or was that just...
What do you mean hear or see anything?
Like, did they make a post that they were actually closed?
No, so I don't think we should talk about it because I don't know if it's official. I was just told that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumors.
No, but I'm just going off of it. Like, a lot of businesses aren't essentials, so we're not able to get the parts that we need right away to actually be able to continue with the Jenny build.
Of course.
So that's been a little difficult, but we're doing the best we can with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, Corey Brown wants to know, Mike, when will you be on iRacing again?
I think we have a World of Outlaws late model race on Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday?
I believe so.
Okay. That must be the Knoxville race?
We did an ESS sprint car race last night. It was the Quarantine 50.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun. We had a group of, I think some people were from like ESS and Patriots, and then just like
a mix.
It was a good group. We had way too many cautions in the feature, but the heat races were pretty exciting. A little tacky earlier, but then when it dried out, it was racing.
Oh, that's not the race you got black flagged in.
I got black flagged later. I tried racing again, and something glitched, and it said you black flagged for passing the pace car, which I never got even close to the pace car. Mm-hmm. But I guess I don't know. I asked around, and they said it's because like if somebody else is glitching, like their internet bandwidth is low, then it screws up. It can screw you up too.
Okay. So let's see. John Doe's got his questions ready. Outside of racing, when it comes to food, travel, social functions, who generally makes the final decision or gets their own way? Yeah. I got it. That's pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate. I'm a little picky. Let's see.
I could be picky too, but I would just rather keep you happy than deal with the consequences.
Smart man. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so someone wants to know who builds your motors.
We have a variety of stuff. We've got a Morrison big block. We've got a Finger Lakes Machine big block. We've got a JPM big block. So
you've got a mix.
Sorry,
this plant ate my hair. So, Mike, are you signed up for the race for Dirt Track Digest?
Yes.
When is that?
I thought that was like Mike Mallet about iRacing, so I'm sure he would let me know.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting, being able to like see us down here. So what other questions do we have?
John says, what do you use for coolant? Do you use water wetter? I use regular water, and then I mix the Napa Cool in, which is this purple stuff that just keeps your water pump lubricated, and it keeps the water from like rusting everything so bad. You don't want to just put water in by itself because it'll rust, but then you don't really need antifreeze in a race engine either. So
okay, here we go. Jim Maxon asks, I know you do shock work. What brand are you on? We ran on a deal with Bill Stein with our sprint car.
Same thing. I do a variety for shocks. I do Bill Stein, Integra, Fox, and Penske. So depending on the night, I'll just pick whatever I think is correct for that condition. But I do shock work right at the shop. I've got a dyno and a bench to rebuild the shocks and change oil, do different shim stacks, whatever.
Brandon says, I'm moving from a Southern Sport Mod to a Micro Sprint. How much different do you have to drive then?
A what?
Yeah, I don't. Southern Sport Mod. Do we have them up here?
I'm not exactly sure what that is. Southern Sport Mod?
But to a Micro Sprint.
To a Micro Sprint.
Ooh! John Doe, what happens? John, seriously, you're killing it. What happens when tires seal over, and is there anything you can do to prevent it?
When they seal over, when the rubber gets warm, the pores open up like a sponge, And then, oh my
It's
God,
attached.
she's so distracted. Why don't you just move this branch here? So anyway, they open up, and then if you get like a caution or something, and you get them too hot, and they cool right down quick, they kind of seal over and get like this hard, shiny layer on top, and you can't get them to open back up again, so they grip really well. And what we do to open them up is we just rip them up with a traction grabber or the grinder or whatever. And the only way to really prevent it from sealing up is to not spin your tires, which is really hard on a dirt track. So I don't know.
Okay, so apparently a sport mod is a limited modified.
Okay.
So like IMCA style mod, but we've never raced them, so
Yeah, so IMCA, UMP, those
Yeah.
kind of things, and he's going to a micro sprint.
I guess so, yeah.
Wait.
Nope, just do a micro sprint. I mean, I don't know. Well, Mike, I don't know. That's a hard question. So,
Well, he's gonna.
wait, happy birthday to Greg. Happy birthday. Let's see, this weekend's the Dirt Track Digest Lockdown Showdown. I think that's what you talked about. That's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you told me it was Alex Bergeron's birthday today,
It
too, right?
is.
Happy birthday,
Per
Alex.
Facebook. Happy birthday, Alex. Let's see.
He won last night, by the way. I didn't mention that.
Yeah.
He won the.
And if you have, actually, I just make it so commercially. If you do, look at the light hitting my head. It's like, whoosh.
Such an angel.
If you do have questions on the flavors, just shoot me a message. I'll gladly hook you up. Let's see. Mike, you aren't doing a very good job at monitoring these
Oh,
questions.
sorry. Let me pick up my phone again. Usually she yells at me for being on my phone.
Yeah, well, I need help with reading the questions.
How many miles do you travel in a racing season? I wish I knew, because that would help me calculate a lot of things, like
How much money is spent?
Yeah, how much fuel are we going to use, etc. We should keep track of that sometime. We should do that this year. Let's do it. Although this year is going to be like slightly shorter.
Kill the bug that's under your foot. Oh, right leg. Oh, right there. You just, it's that thing. You do, okay. You nonchalantly just shoved it. So, imagine if, though, I've thought about it. I've almost tossed the idea. You can kind of roughly know how much you spend as far as like pit passes go, but that's still, I don't know. It's one of those things I feel it's depressing. I really don't want to know how much. Money-wise, I'd be interested in the mileage, yes, but money, I'm undecided on that. That just might shoo everyone away from wanting to do this. Oh, let's see. What do you like more, Michael? Corey wants to know, a modified or a sprint car?
Depends on the night. I really like the wingless sprint cars. I think they're really exciting. Winged sprint cars are really exciting if the track is slippery, but if the track's heavy, they're too single file for me. Modifieds are very exciting, whether the track's heavy or slippery, as long as they don't get too slick. Once it goes like really, really slippery, the winged sprint cars get better and the modifieds get worse.
I feel like it just depends on the track.
Of course, that's what I'm saying. Basically just track conditions.
I mean, I wouldn't put one in front of the other, but they're both exciting depending on their environment.
Now, racetracks seem to get a ton of fans when they're both running, like you get mods and sprint on the same night.
Mm-hmm.
I think it hurts the surface when you have both. You got so much rubber just blowing it off, and usually by feature time there isn't anything left of it.
Okay, so Andrew Merritt, what are your thoughts on how to lower the cost of weekly modified racing? That is a serious question. Do you have any insight on that?
Thoughts on weekly modified racing?
Yeah, a weekly?
What are you saying?
Yeah, thoughts on lowering the cost of weekly modified racing.
Oh.
There's a difference between traveling weekly, but weekly, I mean...
The easiest way to cut costs is just to make the track smooth and
Wear and tear on tires.
Yeah, it's just wear and tear. Like the
Yeah.
biggest expense is when you either crash or just wear stuff out,
Mhm.
whether it's the motor or the driveline or the tires or whatever. If there's any way you can just conserve what we have, it saves us a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
The initial cost is going to be there no matter what, because whatever rules you make or changes or whatever, we're just gonna spend more money to try to go faster with that package. So
I think weekly tracks, there is stuff you can change, but like limited. But as far as traveling from like different Friday night tracks where there's different rule packages and different tires that you're allowed to run, that really, really plays in the cost effect.
mm-hmm.
That limits people from being able to go to certain tracks based on what they're able to afford.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Mike says, Mandee, after hitting over 100 races last season, did you ever feel fried? I did. I was bound and determined to at least hit 100, but not gonna lie, I think by race 80, I was kind of like, we gotta slow down. But usually it's by September. That's when the big races come, but it's not as many races in between. So it's kind of okay, but your nerves-wise, it never calms down. It never really calms down. Fried, tired, exhausted, moody. Yeah. I'll go into that category. Definitely did. Although, right now, I'm starting to think we might not be able to hit 100 races this year.
That would be a challenge.
Yeah, that would be a challenge.
Jason says, "Hi, Mike. What are your thoughts of Lebanon Valley? I know a lot of guys are not too fond of it. I love Lebanon Valley. I think it's a great track. There's awesome racing there. I really love going to Mr. Dirt. Weekly racing there, for me to go there, I would want a like an extra sponsorship, I would say, because like we just mentioned on wear and tear, I think that's such a big track that the cost of your equipment goes up with that. So you got to have a bigger budget, I think, to race there. It's not that
Makes sense.
it's not that I'm not fond. Like, so now that somebody would be not fond of the racing's good. It's the expense.
Yeah, money plays a big part. Okay, Jim asks, would you ever considering jumping into a Silver Crown car? I know Mandy's brother did it in Bob Lesko's car. That was at the Grove.
Silver Crown cars are awesome. I would love to try one. No doubt.
I just think they're sprint cars, but big boats. Bigger boats.
Bigger boats?
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
line up next to a sprint car.
In previous videos about sprint cars needing to be taller and wider to be safer, a Silver Crown is much taller and wider. So I do appreciate that.
So Jerry asks, why do Mike and the two Billies not race together all the time? Well, that is because we're in different states. One. Neither of my dad and brother run the Super Dirt Car Series. That's another one. I mean, my brother, if anything, might hit a few. But just, we live 5 hours away from each other. So we got to race what's within distance to us, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's another expense thing.
Yeah.
Like, to go race on the other side of the state just doesn't make sense because you spend too much money on fuel to get there.
Where Dad and Billy run, how far would Bridgeport be from here? That's got to be at least 6 to 7 hours.
Yeah.
That would be weeklies to drive one way.
And that doesn't just come down to like expense to get there. It's I'm going to be so worn out from driving the truck to get there that I don't even have the energy to race.
Yeah. Hang on, I like this question. Mike, do you have a favorite food to eat before or after the races? Do you get to eat as much ice cream as Mandee does at the tracks?
So, no, I don't get to eat as much ice cream as Mandee does at the tracks because I don't have the time, first of all. Second of all, it hurts the, like, it's terrible in my stomach. It, like, makes me feel awful.
Yeah.
But after the races, I eat
anything and everything?
Except pickles, because I hate pickles.
Except pickles, yeah, we know that.
But, pizza,
I'll usually
lasagna. ravioli.
I'll try to walk away and go get the ice cream and not come back and rub it in everyone's faces and try to eat it before I get back to the trailer. So he never knows. But he probably just knows I'm getting anyway, so it doesn't matter. So Mia Cox asks, who is the other guy that helps you film? Assuming we're talking about Steve. Steve is actually from New Jersey, so usually when I'm down home, like I go to New Egypt, go to Bridgeport, Grandview, Delaware, he's usually there. He's awesome. He really enjoys doing it and has a lot of help. When we, what was it? Was it Easter? No, it was a Centennial race. Some of the footage from those videos were so good because he was able to, I'd be following Mike and Steve would be able to follow Billy and just make like a whole really in-depth story, rather than me just one person running around trying to get everything is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Steve. What you got?
He's a big help. Why does it seem most drivers are doing sportsman rather than running modified? Is the cost versus winnings that much better?
And that is asked by Shane.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm sure it's different for each person. I would say that the sportsman, your big savings is in the engine because you're running a crate, but then you might spend more on lightening up the drive line and body damage. Mm-hmm. So some of that kind of cancels out. But the initial cost of buying the car, I would say, is so much cheaper for a sportsman when you first just go out to buy everything.
Yeah.
But then what your weekly expenses are probably more.
There's someone from Australia. Nick, what time is it in Australia? I'm intrigued. Mike Falcon asks, for the both of you, what is the best improvement recently in dirt tracks that you frequent? I think facilities. I feel like a lot of the facilities, they've been painting, they've been upgrading. I was told that, I don't know, well, you use the toter, but at Albany, supposedly the bathrooms and the pits have been updated.
We heard that.
That is huge because, nothing against Albany at all, but those bathrooms were sketchy.
Were they?
Yeah.
No,
the
men's was fine.
The women's was a little sketchy. I've been in worse, but
had a trough and a sink. What else do you need?
Yes, but I think I would say facility-wise. I know a lot of tracks are working. It depends. Is there any other tracks? I know Georgetown put new clay down. All right. Middletown's always working on their facility.
Mm-hmm.
But
here's a good question. Randy Snyder says, Mike, do you think it's good to have a crew chief? And that way you could just concentrate on driving, not worry about sat in the car or prepping tires. Yeah, that's huge. But you have to have a crew chief that you really trust, mm-hmm. and that I can trust that he's going to make the car as good as it possibly can be. And the person that comes to mind right away is Doug Emery. So when I race sprint cars, I 100% trusted him to do a better job preparing the car and setting it up than I could do.
Yeah. So
all I worried about was driving the car, and it was so much more relaxing. I had more energy. I was ready to drive, and sprint cars were new to me, and it was a super challenging thing, overwhelming as it is to learn to drive them. Mm-hmm. But at least I only had to focus on that. I didn't have to learn how to set them up or maintain them or anything because Doug took care of all that. So yes, that's huge. With the modifieds, I have a hard time finding someone that can do that for me that I can trust because they're all taken, that have that knowledge to do it.
You need the knowledge and the drive because they're far and few between. There's people that are knowledgeable but don't want to do it.
Yeah. And then there's the expense too. If somebody's that knowledgeable, you're going to have to pay them
for that. Yeah,
to
big time.
Do it for you.
When was it 2-3 years ago when Dad first time ever was crazy, went winless for a whole year, and then he went and picked up wherever Jordan is, apparently he's taking care of his daughter today. It's actually Jordan's dad, Phil Cox.
Mm-hmm.
And dad won like right off the bat because, you know, he has the confidence in him that like he's gonna build, like put the car together properly and can toss around ideas.
And the dynamic between Phil and Billy works because they get along. Yeah. Phil doesn't overstep. He tiptoes around Billy and does what he needs, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't have somebody that's like real dominant for a driver like Billy.
Mm-hmm.
So that you gotta have a dynamic that works with the crew chief and the driver, or else they're not really helpful. So that's a challenge. It's a real challenge to find someone. If you do, take care of them because you know
you don't want to lose them.
Yeah, you don't want to lose them.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, let's see. Aquatic Sausage says, my wife says Sharon Speedway ladies room's the best. I think I'm going to have to check that out. Not going to lie, just have Sharon. Have I been to the Sharon restrooms? I've never been to Sharon. But...
Jay Trimble says, Mike, when are you going to shave your bread?
Your bread?
I'm assuming you mean head, but I mean not.
Beard?
I'm going to have to look up shaving your bread on YouTube to find out what that is.
He's not shaving his bread because
Sorry,
Mandee
Jay,
likes
I know you're.
Yeah.
I know what you meant. I haven't shaved my head before ever, so.
No. Mike Falcon asked, if you guys didn't race, what would you see yourself doing? And this has crossed my mind these past few weeks, and I can't come up with dilly squat.
Yeah, because it's all we do.
Doesn't sound like fun.
One thing Mandee does really well is she decorates the house. She's really good. She's got a lot of that's what we went to pick up. I mean, a lot of decor. That's what you call it.
95% of the trailer, the remainders that was left in the house is just decor. Yeah. Like this whole setup was at the farmhouse.
It was pretty challenging to pack it all so that it didn't fall over or get wrecked. But it's all delicate stuff.
Yeah.
You know, usually you're moving furniture. You got like couches and stuff to protect things, and we just had a bunch of.
I feel like
fragile.
I can't. Something's wrong with my middle finger. Like something with my knuckle. Like I can't squeeze it all the way down. It hurts. I can't.
To tell you there.
Like, pop it in or pull it out. Okay. Sorry. Distractions. More to dust. Yeah, I know. A lot of stuff's to dust. He is right. It's bad.
Nicholas Wilson asks, do you think it would be a good idea if Dirt replaced the Dirt Pro stock with a crate lane model? Boy, that's a tough one, Nick.
I feel like they do well though, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I think that why not just have both classes?
But that's more for Dean Reynolds to maintain, right? Is this a Dirt question? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, but. I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with having both.
Watch. If Dean watches this, it's going to be great. He's going to call you and say, no, we don't need more stuff.
Well, the Dirt Pro stock is what he handles. A crate late model would be a whole different sanctioning body, so he doesn't need to worry about that.
But if it's under Dirt.
Oh.
Right?
I see. So like Underworld Racing Group replacing
he takes care of the sportsmen.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Yeah. Crate late models have their own sanction body. Still waiting for a tour of the house. We could do that sometime.
I'm undecided.
We keep giving you different tours of this corner.
Yes, I'm undecided because there were some critics when we lived in the apartment down the road because everyone complained because I didn't put stuff on the walls. I didn't decorate properly. Mm-hmm. So I like to keep my decor to this corner. Mm-hmm. I might hang something here so you can see it. Maybe I'll change it each week or each day. That would consider a lot of dusting, but.
Marvin Allen asks, Mike, please describe the different rear suspension options and how they feel and react differently. Right now, there's a lot of options. You can have short rods, long rods, coils, torsion, J-bar, left side panel bar, right side panel bar. And that could take me a long time, but I'm going to try to do it really quickly here for you. Short rods make the car really hard to drive and not really good in the rough stuff, but they hook up better in the slick. The long rod, I'd say the coils seem to be like, I don't know, very tunable, but not as forgiving as the torsion bars. The J bar has a lot of grip, but in some places and not a lot of grip in other places. The left side pinner bar hooks up pretty good, but it bounces all over the place, so it's pretty hard to drive. And then the right side pinner bar sticks good on entry, but not as good on exit. So it's like there's a trade-off for every single option that they give you. So you kind of have to feel what's comfortable for you on that particular night at that track for that condition.
So Stone Mason says, I got you. Arthritis from cracking your knuckles. I do that daily. So if that's what arthritis feels like, I am SOL. That's not good. I need to come up with a new habit because that's all I do. Okay, here we go. Mike Falcon says, is it fair to say that you put in about 100 hours or more a week in racing? My dad always jokingly says, like, you really, really have to love what you do to want to race, because if you were to break it down for what you would get paid for the amount you put into this, it's probably like $4 an hour.
So, for example, I started at Adirondack Auto last year, and I started keeping track of my hours because I was told that I could kind of make my own hours and just, work around whatever schedule I wanted to. Because when you're racing, you're late at night, so why should you just have to start early in the morning, right?
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
You kind of have to. But what happened was I was keeping track of my hours, and like to make sure that I had 40, 50, 60 hours or whatever. Well, it got to where it was just so much more than that it was like, why am I even keeping track of this?
George is probably like, I don't want to see it.
There's not been 1 week where I didn't have overtime, know? So
yeah, you definitely would paid overtime.
It adds up to a lot.
It is, but you have to be dedicated. Oh, wait, I'm going to close out on this because we're at 33 minutes. So, you fell asleep, but I was like so ecstatic. If you have not yet watched, what is it? For the Love of Dirt on YouTube.
Oh, that was great.
That was so good. It was put together by Knott's Energy Drinks, which is the, Stenhouse Junior Marshall. Yeah. Sprint car program. And it started out with Brian. Well, I don't want to tell
their driver currently is Sheldon Bodenshield. Yeah. And there's a big spotlight on, the history of the team and what their season was like last year, I believe, right?
Like if you enjoy watching our videos, that one, absolutely incredible. For me personally, like I could see a relation, especially with my brother, my dad, like Jack Honshield is still an incredible race car driver, and Sheldon has to potentially fill those shoes. And even in the video, Sheldon's strapping in, and people are like, oh, is your father here? How's your dad doing? And you're like, oh my God. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. But the pressures and the time and the, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Sacrifices that you had to put into it really, really just, came together really well in that video.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed with it.
Yep.
I was impressed with it. So you definitely, it's free. It's on YouTube. It's like 46 minutes long. It's a great video to watch for sure. But that's it. You don't have anything to add to that.
I think that was great.
Thank you. So I can't see that far away. I put my phone down, but we actually made it to 35 minutes today. Let us know what you guys are up to. If you see, I even cracked my ankles. Oh, this is so bad. Do you like our new setup? I like it. I think this was nice.
It's much better with the cushion behind my back.
Did you know that they rock?
Not really.
They do.
They do.
Oh, whatever. Okay.
Bounce more than anything.
But I have to actually come to you guys to end this because we don't have
Well, that was
our
uncomfortable.
own professional person here. So it's okay. Whatever. Get all up and personal in my business.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys.
We'll see you tomorrow.